Here with Credit Suite. We're going to be diving into the best credit cards that we found for 2000 here in our live scope. So this is the first time since I've started Periscope over a year ago that I've actually been away from you for a few weeks. I was not here the last 2 weeks because I was in Las Vegas and then I was in Orlando, Florida doing a presentation last week. So I've missed you and I'm glad to be back. I'm usually not off between even 1 week, let alone two, but this time of year in about April, May, I just have a lot of events I'm speaking at and attending. So it's not uncommon for me to have to bounce out and not be available because last Wednesday, I'm pretty sure I was in an airplane, both days traveling. So anyways, one day I was in an airplane, one day I was on a car. Anyways, so what we're going to dive into today is we're going to dive into the best credit cards. Evelyn, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Working for you, LLC. Kevin, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So today we're going to be diving into the best credit cards that we found for 2017. Christine, hello. I'm really excited because I get to meet with Christine and Kevin both one-on-one tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to talking with both of you. Hey, from Pasadena, Texas. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. So today we're going to be talking about the best credit cards for 2017. I'm going to teach you the individual cards we found to be the best based on ones that our clients are getting. Hey, Corey, welcome. Thanks for coming in. I'm going to talk about some with a PG, some without a personal guarantee, some with good credit, some with bad credit. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Unsecured program where you can get a bunch of credit cards in one shot as well. So that's all what we're going to dive into today. Now, today's a little bit of a weird day because I need to use this, which I've never needed to before. My whiteboard artist, I know you thought I did these, ran out of room and she put things together in a way that I kind of don't even understand what she did. So I'm going to be using my whiteboard showing you that. I'm also going to be reading my notes here as well. I just got a 11K Citgo card, but still struggling to get more cards. Evelyn, great job. That's it. Congratulations. Remember, hey, ABC Credit, thanks for coming in. Remember, Attorney Chris, welcome. Remember, business credit is typically about two things. Oh, there goes Kevin with the super hearts. Thanks, working for you, LLC. So remember, business credit's about two things. Business credit is about having a good score because you pay as agreed, and it's also about having enough trade lines to get approved. So F1, if you're having a hard time getting approved for more accounts, it's probably because you don't have enough business credit accounts reporting now to get the accounts you're applying for. Some you need 6 trade lines, some you need 5, some you need 10, 12, or 14. So if you're doing this on your own, that's one of the barriers to entry is you have to figure out which ones to apply for based on how many trade lines you have. If you get denied, don't worry about it. All you need to do, welcome Prosperous, thanks for coming in. All you need to do is apply for some other accounts. As you get more trade lines, go back to the one you got denied for, and then I'll typically resolve your issue so you're able to come in and get approved. So hopefully that helps you in your quest to be able to get more credit cards. How do you know who's reporting? You pull your reports. I think that's what you're asking. So you pull your reports, pull your Experian, pull your DMB, pull your Equifax. And again, the only accounts they're going to report are accounts you've been approved for, you've used, and you paid your bill. So even though your credit reports won't tell you the actual creditor name, business credit reports only tell you the category, such as shipping for Uline or office supplies for places like Quill. You should know who's on your report because you're applying, you're using the credit, you're paying the bill. So shortly after that bill, you'd expect them to be reported. So who's reporting, you should know just by monitoring your reports and knowing which ones you've been approved for and which one you're using. Hopefully that helps you a little bit there. Okay. We're talking about best credit cards for 2017. Now, what do I mean by best? Well, again, there's a couple variables here. Which one give you the most cash back? Which one give you the most points? Which one give you the best interest rate or APR? Okay, now there's a lot of benefits of getting these kind of business credit cards. Per SBA, the limits are about 10 to 100 times higher than you're going to find with personal credit cards. Okay, a lot more money that you're able to get with business credit than personal credit because you're able to have commercial credit cards and consumer credit cards at the same time. Okay, you have business and consumer, and you don't need collateral cash flow or financials to get most of these actual credit cards. So a lot of benefits by doing this. Somebody says, priceless content, I appreciate that. I want to start a business dealing with fish aquariums. Would it be okay for me to start from home? Sure, yes it will be, but My advice is when it comes to getting loans and credit cards, try to either get a real physical address if you can, because that gives you the best lending potential. If not, no worries. Get a virtual address. You can go to our website, creditsuite.com/virtual for that. Or worst case scenario, use your home address, never a UPS address or a PO box. I know you're covered it, but can you name the high-risk business class to avoid for a business name? There's too many to mention. On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/credit suite, we've got a video where we go through this, but I can tell you anybody in financial services, real estate, mortgages, credit repair, business credit even, banks, credit unions, anything in financial services, anybody that's dealing with X-rated content, pawn shops, firearms, any of those are viewed as high risk. Again, there's probably 100. So too many to mention here, but hopefully that gives you some. Remember, if you're trying to avoid a high-risk industry for your business name, go with something general. I literally have a business called Elite Business, and that's what is my umbrella company. A lot of things funnel under. So that's about as general as you can get without saying consulting, etc., etc. So try to keep it as general as possible for lending and credit purposes, but for lending and credit purposes only. I also believe that your name should say exactly what you do to save people from having to guess. So again, it's a little confusing because for marketing purposes, your name should kind of clearly entail what you do, I think. But at the same time, it makes it more complicated for lending and for credit. Do you know that DMB actually shows your exact location? It showed my house. DMB will list your business address on there. I haven't seen location finder services on there before, but yes, they do list your address. Any information that you're putting on applications, you have to be wary because that stuff actually will show up on your commercial credit report. So, for example, DMB will show revenue, DMB will show employees, DMB will show your actual location. And remember, that information is available to anybody that wants it. So if you're putting a home address as your business address, do you want everybody to know your home address? Maybe not. That's why you actually want to probably come in and consider a virtual address instead. So a lot of different credit cards we're going to talk about. Now, first, let's talk about cards with 0% APR right here. Okay, so Noah the Best comes in with absolutely no value. I think Noah is a troll, but we're going to give Noah a chance to hang out here. So cards with 0% APR. Corey says, would you make a video for people like me who want to start a business? I already have one. If you go to youtube.com/credit suite and come in and actually, if you search start or start a business, you'll see we've got a great video that maps out the important things of starting a business, so hopefully that helps you. Okay, so 0% APR. Inc. Business Cash Credit Card is the best we've seen when it comes to 0% APR. When you're talking about 0% APR, one of the best ones we've seen. It's Inc. Business Cash Credit Card, and there's no annual fee, and you can get approved with a 690 credit score. A lot of you don't, and that's okay. We're going to talk about credit cards today you can get approved for regardless. Another one is the Blue Business Credit Card from American Express. American Express has a lot of good ones, but that one gives you 0% interest for 15 months. So if you're looking for that, if you're looking for the best 0% APR, then what you're looking for is one that gives you the longest term. So the finance sources we work with, we try to get 6 to 18 months 0%. The longer you can get 0%, especially as a startup, the better off you're going to be. So that's why we really like these two accounts, because when you're talking about Inc.'s business credit card or Blue Business American Express card, you're getting up to 15 months at 0%. So that works really, really well. That's two great cards to consider if that's your primary focus. Okay, so we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about actually how to get cards for fair credit. So we talk about cards for fair credit. The Capital One Spark credit card for business is a great one to consider. Okay, and are you on Facebook? Yes, he can. Christine, Kevin is. You two should connect because you two are both having a lot of success, and Kevin's running into some obstacles too while building business credit. Love the Snap Up shirt. I have the Snap Up shirt because I, for some reason, spill everything on my shirts, And apparently these are the easiest to keep clean because they're for working people working outside, not for people in an office. So I appreciate that. I'm sorry, there's just a lot of scammers in the world that tell you fake credit cards. Yes, Kevin Stewart. Well, that's okay. All I ask you is why criticize if you haven't even heard what I have to say? If you hear what I have to say and you think for some reason I'm a scam, then so be it. Throw in a comment. But it might not make sense to throw that comment out before you actually hear it. So Capital One Spark Card. Let's talk about Capital One Spark. Capital One Spark Card gets a bad name because they report to consumer and the business credit reporting agencies. I'm not a huge fan of that. I only want cards that report to the business credit reporting agencies. Frank from Urban Bear Trucking. Welcome, Frank. Thanks for coming in. So that being said, Capital One gets a bad name because it reports to consumer and business credit. But I like it because it's fairly an easy card to get approved for. You need about a mid 600 score to get approved for, and it helps you build your business credit, which is pretty phenomenal. But you do need to be aware because with Capital One Spark Card, the problem with that is that it does report on your consumer credit. So as you use this kind of credit card, it's going to affect your consumer credit scores because remember, 30% of your consumer credit scores is based on utilization as well. So that's something to keep in mind. The best cards for actual travel points, then one of the best ones we've seen, and these are for travel miles, etc., is the Gold Delta Skymiles business card from Amex. You get about 30,000 miles, $50 credit with them, and 2 miles per every dollar you spend. But again, I think that really who you like to fly with most. They all have really, really, really good accounts. So for example, we fly with American Airlines. So we have a great American Airlines card, which is really good to give us a lot of points when we fly American. But if you're looking for one of the best out there when it comes to travel, then by far the Gold Delta Skymiles card with Amex is probably one of the best. And Credit Suite is amazing. I appreciate that. Thanks, Kevin. Another great one is the Business Platinum card for Amex. Now, why I like this is because it doesn't just restrict you for getting points based on the airline you fly. The one I just told you is best for Delta. But if you want one that works for all airlines, because I fly a lot, then I really like the Business Platinum card for Amex. It gives you access to different lounges and a $200 annual free travel credit. Yarky, welcome. First down Periscope. You also get one point for every dollar you spend, and you get 1.5 points on charges of 5,000 or more, and 5 points for every dollar off flights and hotels. So if you travel a lot, that's one of the best cards that's out there, is the Business Platinum card for Amex. Now, so far we're only talking about accounts that require a personal guarantee. Keep this in mind. Another good one that will help you, that's a general one, is the Inc. Business Preferred card from Chase. So with this one, there's no limit on earnings. You get 3 points on the first 150,000 in combined purchases, and then 1 point after that. So when it comes to travel, in my opinion, the Delta Skymiles is the best out there. But only if you fly with Delta. If you don't, you want to look at the Business Platinum card from Amex and the Inc. Chase Preferred card. Those will help you, even if you're flying with different airlines other than American Airlines, other than Delta, etc., etc., etc. So definitely some ones to consider. Now, when we talk about the benefit of low APR for balance transfers. Let's say you're going to transfer from high APR cards to low APR. Then one of the best one out there is the U.S. Bank Business Edge Platinum card. 12 months at 0%, 3% balance transfer fee. Now, is the Blue Business Plus credit card from Amex. That's another really, really, really good one because the Blue Business credit card from Amex has a 15-month 0% APR, no annual fee, and you get double points on the first 50,000 you spend. So those are probably the best out there for low APR. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite categories, which actually comes down to Wells Fargo, okay? So Christine says, I tried a card through Wells Fargo, no PG. Only reason we were turned down was we did not bank with them. So Christine, thank you very much. You live in my head, which is awesome. So what we also, one of my favorite for business credit building really comes down to Wells Fargo. So there's a lot of good ones. I like Uline. I like Quill. These are my two favorite for business credit building. There's no personal credit check. There's no personal guarantee. And they report on the business credit reports. So these are great to be able to get your initial business credit established. As Christine mentioned, Wells Fargo also has a credit card. She applied with no PG. If you're willing to provide a personal guarantee and a personal credit check, you need above average credit to get it, but it reports to the reporting agencies. So it can actually help you build business credit. So when it comes to business credit building, these are really two of my favorites, Uline and Quill. Wells Fargo is good, but there's a credit check. So I'm not as big on this one as what I am. Charlize, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So Uline and Quill are my favorite two for business credit building. Wells Fargo secured credit card's phenomenal if you're willing to give the personal guarantee. As Christine said, she applied for one with no PG. The only reason she got turned down is that she did not apply or she did not have bank account set up with Wells Fargo. So that Wells Fargo credit card can really be good on both aspects. If you bank with them, go with their no PG card once you've got at least 10, 12, 14 accounts reporting on your business credit reports. Corey says, when I use Regis address, do I put that for my mailing address or my physical address? Yes, you do. You put it actually for both. Your mailing and physical address, and make sure that that same address is everywhere else. Make sure it's on your corporation papers, your bank statements, your utility statements. You need to make sure that that address is the same everywhere with Google, with Bing, with Yahoo, on your application. The address should be exactly the same everywhere. And Murray says, Mail Harry, kind of like Hail Mary, like that. I got approved for Amazon with my home address. Yes, you can. Remember, guys, a home address itself is not going to get you denied for business credit. Keep in mind, when I talk to you about step one here, build it, setting up a credible business. What happens is all credit issuers have basically a hair by, okay, I got it. So mail, hair, heart, okay, I got it. I will get your name, I promise. So when it comes to credibility, one of these things won't automatically get you denied. But what happens is they throw up red flags when you're trying to get automated approvals. And with that being said, it makes it more difficult to get approved. So somebody says, hey, I got approved with a home address. Well, again, this is why I tell you, isn't something to completely avoid. Go with a physical business address to begin with. Go with a virtual address if you can. You can use a home address. Some sources may not approve you. Others will. A lot of them still will, but you have a better chance of getting automated approval if you're using a real business address or virtual address versus using a home address. But some sources will still approve you even if you're just using the home address, so you know that. A home address by itself is not a disqualifier. My hair equals my hair. I got it now. But it doesn't say my hair. It says my hair NY. So are you from New York? You got to tell me you're from New York, because that would now make a lot more sense. I think I'd understand it. But I see NY on the end of your name too. So that could be New York. Yes, I got it now. See that? It's a little bit slow today, but I eventually got it. Okay, so my hair, New York. Okay, I got it now. New York, New York. My wife is from Long Island. So there you go. That's cool. Let me know where you are from in New York. That's cool. Okay, so low APR. We already talked about low APR. We also talked about my favorite accounts for building business credit with a personal guarantee and without a personal guarantee. So let's now look. Where's this back up? The best cards here for cash back. So the ones I found are the Simply Cash Plus business credit card from Amex. And that's a really cool account. Amex, the Simply Cash Back, really is cool because it gives you 5% cash back on office supplies, which a lot of us use, 3% on spending categories of your choice, and you get 8 categories. That's pretty cool, especially for those of us in business. Bank of America, BOA, has a great one called the Business Advantage Cash Rewards Mastercard, 3% cash back on gas stations, office supply stores, 2% on restaurants. So that's pretty cool, just depending on what you're using it for. Don't forget that Spark card from American Express we talked about, also pretty good. You get 0% for 9 months, and you get 1.5% cash back on all purchases. So that's pretty cool as well when it comes to cash back benefits. So at the cards, best cards for rewards. And where did she put this one here on my board? Okay, so when we talk about actual rewards, there's a few different ones that I want to talk about. I'm going to wrap this up. Hey, great. Thanks for coming in. That's cool. Okay, so the best ones for it comes to cash back is the Business Green Rewards card from Amex. Not a lot of people know this. So you're from Brooklyn. That's awesome. I've been asked in a real estate group, is there in any business credit cards for below 680? There's a lot of them. A lot of the ones we talked about today are. Some of them are not. So there's a lot of cards that are available for without a 680. Wells Fargo, you could probably get approved without a 680. It just depends on how recent derogatory items are, Kevin. That's a problem. So have them go back and even review this. Remember, we put all of our previous Periscopes at creditsuite.com/scope, so that can help you. What's the cost usually for virtual address on average? I find $150 to $200 a month. They're not cheap. And when you find ones that look cheap, like iPostal, they're usually UPS addresses. You have to stay away. Seton said they don't report anymore. No, they don't report anymore. Seton stopped reporting a few months ago. We sent out an email notice to everybody. We put some notices on our groups as well. And then if you're watching here, we've also notified you that as well. If you're not, where you been? You should follow us on our Facebook group, Get Business Credit. You should also follow us here on Periscope and Facebook. We go over all the stuff live. And you should also come in. Hey, welcome. You should also come into creditsuite.com/Periscope at creditsuite.com/Periscope. And thank you very much for the hearts. And Kevin's going nuts with the super hearts, which look awesome, by the way. If you go to creditsuite.com/Periscope, you can get a free guide on building business credit. And then we'll also put you on our list and we'll notify you of things like that when things change. So when it comes to cash for rewards, the Business Gold Rewards card from Amex is one of the best we've seen, and not a lot of people know about it. And also the Business Platinum card from Amex is really good as well. You get 5 times the membership rewards on flights and hotels, so that's pretty cool. New to Credit Suite, then Dr. Rosette, welcome. I just completed my partner training. Good job. Welcome. I appreciate you coming on board. Sprint and AT&T do report to Experian. Okay, thank you, Christine, for that. So don't forget, if you're looking for there's another great program out there called the Unsecured Business Financing Program, which might work better for you. Because with this one, what they're doing is they're usually getting you 5 to 8 different business credit cards that report to the business credit reporting agencies, DNB, Experian, and Equifax Commercial. You're getting 0% rates for 6 to 18 months, and you get credit line capability, which means you get 0%, and you could take the cash out, 100% of the cash out. So if you got approved for 150, you could take nearly $150,000 out in cash with this program. Now, they will give you an option usually of business reporting cards, and then some of them will actually be consumer cards. So they give you an option of just getting business cards or getting consumer and business cards to get more money. You can choose. You got to be careful with this because some of the places we use actually call consumer cards standard cards. So you have to let them know you only want business cards if you're going for this program. You can get approved even if you don't have a 680 score, even if you have a guarantor instead. And this is a cool way to go because you can get approved as a startup. You don't need cash flow. It's no doc, and you don't need collateral. I wanted to go over 10 or so of the best credit cards we found, which I've been able to do. And I wanted to tell you the best for travel points and cash back and balance transfer and all those different reasons. I watch Credit Suite on YouTube for hours. My husband is sick of me. He's probably sick of me by now if you're doing that. But I like this unsecured business financing program because instead of you figuring all these cards out, looking at all of them, figuring out which one to apply for, you could basically just have a finance source that this is all they do is go in and get the cards. They do charge you a 9 to 10% fee. But they'll typically get you 5 times the amount of credit that you can actually get on your own. They get you credit with the longest 0% APR periods. They let you take cash out on the cards. They get you cards that actually help build your business credit and a lot of other benefits that you're typically not going to be able to get. If that makes sense, knowledge is power. You got it, Kevin. CreditSuite.com/funding, or you can always give us a ring. We can talk to you more about the fastest path to build your business credit. We can talk to you more about this program as well. All you need is a 680 FICO or a guarantor that has one to initially be considered. They look at inquiries. They look at utilization. Some other things we'll gladly talk to you about. You can always give us a call and talk with us more about that, or go here to get funding as well. Does your program help also with helping to what LLC to open for business credit? Yeah. You look at our actual program, we walk you through everything to do with setting up your business, setting up your EIN, choosing a business name that's not high risk, getting your entity set up the right way. We help you with all those things as well. It saves you a bunch of time, and it's cheaper to work with us anyways because we're giving you things like credit monitoring for less than $300 a year when you'll spend over $2,500 on your own. 411's free for us. It costs you about $400 on your own. Experience Smart Business is $600 a year. It's free with us. We give you a lot of that stuff so you don't have to pay for it, so it saves you a lot more money as well. Then there's never a dull moment, not in this group. And don't forget, and look at this. You know what this is, everybody? This is chalk. Why do you think we're going to get chalk? What do you think I'm going to put in here that I can use chalk for? I'm going to let you all guess and figure that out. Okay, so here's some links. creditsuite.com/Periscope. This is where you can get a free guide on building business credit. creditsuite.com/scope. And this is my new chalk eraser here. Why else would I need it? Oh, yeah. Kevin figured it out. There's a little chalkboard. The one picture my wife has purchased for me for my office here is going into a neighboring office, and it will be replaced in a couple weeks with a chalkboard. So we're actually going to be a full-time chalkboard here, and then we'll be able to go through chalkboard training and whiteboard, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm very thankful to you, Ty. Sweet, I've been able to build my business credit. You're welcome, and thank you for coming in. And your whiteboards are still amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was my whiteboard specialist that told me to get a chalkboard, and I said, absolutely. I look forward to doing business with you. So creditsuite.com/scope to get all of our previous Periscopes. creditsuite.com/Periscope to get our free guide on building business credit. Paint for chalkboard, paint LLL. It is, I actually was sitting at a restaurant that my family frequents pretty much every weekend because my son loves it. I love it too. My wife, not as much of a fan. And these chalkboards looked amazing. So I got their artist, hired her, and she now does my whiteboards. And she said, look, if you get chalk and chalkboards, I can do a lot more. And I thought, why not mix it up? We do so much with all these whiteboards all around my office that I thought a chalkboard would be cool to mix it up. So we're going to get a chalkboard to mix up the training. And in the weeks to come, it's going to be pretty cool. Chili's, no. It's a little place called Craft Street, which I don't think is a franchise at all. It's just local here around the corner from me in Trinity. But don't get me wrong, my son loves Chili's, and we eat at Chili's quite a bit too. I like Chili's too. I think Chili's is pretty cool. And they have 2 for $1 on margaritas and beer. You can't go wrong with that. Next, whiteboard walls. The problem, Kevin, is that whiteboard walls don't do well on this kind of surface that we have here. And they don't make the paint for those anymore. It's because they were toxic of some sort. Chalkboard paint. Yes, I've done that. My son has a chalkboard wall, but it doesn't work well with the texture of these walls, which is why I went with an actual chalkboard. Christine says, I found a company who said you do not need a D&B to build business credit. It was a scam. Yes. Anybody that tells you that you don't need to get set up with D&B to build business credit is a scam. Because Dun & Bradstreet's the biggest reporting agency, and the DUNS number that's issued by D&B is actually used by a lot of credit issuers. As a matter of fact, I have even been through a process where I got denied applying for business credit and then gave them my DUNS and they approved me. So that's a little tip to everybody. Even if they don't ask for your DUNS, give them your DUNS, because in a lot of cases it's a difference between denial and approval. So yes, you do need to build business credit with Dun & Bradstreet. If you're building business credit, they're the biggest reporting agency. Kevin says if you do business, you're going to get a DUNS. Yes, you do need to. You can get some credit without a DUNS. You can come in and get the accounts we just talked about here. You can get Uline, you can get Quill without the DUNS. But the problem is that some credit accounts will not approve you with the DUNS. So one of the first steps you should take, really we call this step 2, is to make sure you do a free credit search to see if you're set up with the reporting agencies and get your DUNS. So Christine says, I schooled them, was told that they never look for DUNS. I was laughing. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Ariel0275, welcome. Your first day on Periscope and you're spending it with us. We really, really appreciate it. Welcome. So thanks for coming in and joining us. So we're going to wrap this up. I wanted to talk to you about some of the best business credit cards for 2017, which I've been able to do. Talk to you about some with no PG, with the PG. Talk to you about my favorite for business credit building as well. What's your credit score? Well, what do you want to know? You want to know my consumer or do you want to know my commercial, TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian? Experian, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian? That's a pretty weighted question. Maybe you're looking for a bank credit score. There's a lot of different credit scores that are out there, but I can assure you both my consumer and business are good. I can also assure you that my consumer wasn't always good because I've had bumps along the road in running a business, as a lot of people have, and been able to do the right thing for many years and get good credit. I had to say it was like, oops, boom. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this up for now. I will see you next week at 4 o'clock here on Periscope. We're about to finish up this board. This board's about to go away. I think I have one more week with this whiteboard like it is, and then we tear it down. We have all new topics. With the chalkboard, I now have more room for more topics. So over the next weeks to come, we're going to cover topics that we've never covered here before on Periscope. Hi, thanks for coming in. Christine, and you two should connect. Christine especially, and Kevin, you two should connect because you're doing really well. I'll see both of you one-on-one tomorrow as we're going to get together and do a really cool interview. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Remember, if you're interested in getting business credit or loans, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. Get a free guide for building business credit at creditsuite.com/Periscope. Great. That's awesome. Call for tomorrow. That's great. And also don't forget to visit creditsuite.com/scope to access all of our previous Periscopes as well. Fall for the lies. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are scammers, guys. You got to be careful. If you look at me, if you look at our company, our reputation's out there, so I don't think you can hide from scammers. Usually there's a lot of negative stuff that tries to build up on them pretty quick when it comes to rip-off report, when it comes to BBB complaints, when it comes to a lot of those things. Do you have to pay for this? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking for, but if you go to creditsuite.com/Periscope, you'll get a free guide on building business credit. We give you a ton of free info through email. You can go to our main website, creditsuite.com, top right of our page, access all of our social channels. If you don't want to pay, don't pay to build business credit. Follow all of our free training. We have hundreds of videos on YouTube, tons of videos on live streaming as well where we help you. And yes, we do have a paid service if you want to expedite your results without running into issues. But if you don't want to pay, don't pay. Go with our free training. We have a ton of free training out there that can help you through this process. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I'm going to see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock on Periscope. I think one more week with our current whiteboard. We tear it down. We put up new topics. And I think 2 more weeks before my chalkboard shows up. So we'll be going over a lot of cool stuff in the weeks to come. I promise. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on Periscope. And for those of you that follow on Facebook, I'll see you next tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.